Hello, hello, hello. Hooligan Soccer podcast coming at you on Thursday before this Premier League match week 5 with myself, Gary Striker, and a very pensive and contemplative Qooligan. Would that be a fair way to describe
कार्ड का प्रीव्यू कि हमारे कार्ड पर हमारा कार्ड
Yeah, wonderful.
कार्ड का प्रीव्यू कि हमारे कार्ड पर हमारा कार्ड नंबर एक्सपायरी डेट और सिक्योरिटी code.
Well, it's been a busy week. I know there's kind of 3 Champions League games. It's Champions League game days, so that's the third one is on as Thursday as we record now. So we've got another Champions League.
की सभी डिटेल्स
30 minutes. Yeah, 30 minutes. So we'll be doing that. So we're squeezing this recording in, and then we're going to do a Champions League follow-up after this one. So we are churning and grinding out content. No special guest with us today because, it's we don't want to sort of, just make it all about the special guests as well.
No special guest today. That's all we need to say.
Exactly. And I would like to just spend a little shout out to the listener who wrote to us very kindly and said how much they enjoyed and appreciated the Qooligans take and the Qooligans fan. We will not name this person just for sort of privacy reasons as well, but we did receive some inbound. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate it very much. As always, feedback is a gift. Please, if you don't like Qooligans' antics and sort of thinks he's full of shit, please tell him. If you think I'm
no one in the world thinks that, Gary. No one.
There's times. Indeed. And as always, guys, it really would help us. Like, follow, subscribe, give us the ratings. It helps us in there seeing the dreaded algorithms that seem to sort of rule our lives and rule all the content we follow and like. So please share it. And as always, if you want to see the ramblings as well of the Qooligan, myself, we have just also onboarded a whole bunch of new content writers at hooligan-soccer.com as well. We had Daniel Charles on last week. He's been writing for us, Son of Chelsea, and I think there's another article about to drop. We've got some
There
Liga
will be an
MX.
article that drops tomorrow morning UK time.
Beautiful.
In the middle of the night here in the United States, but it will hit the wires.
Fantastic.
For all of those rampant UK soccer lovers.
Well, that's it. Exactly. So, and as always, Hooligan-Soccer, again, feel free to reach out to us. We would love to hear from you as well. Anyway, enough with the preamble. One day, maybe we'll put a sponsor in here as well, and it'll be sponsored by, I don't know, Athletic Greens or something like that as well, and we'll get there as well. But slowly growing and having fun.
High for the Athletic Greens. I would have thought it would have been Hims or some other, but we're going to try and shoot a little bit higher.
.com as well. What sort of ED pills and hair loss pills as well. That's tell me you're middle aged without telling me you're middle aged as well. When you're slinging dick and hair pills, right? Is that it?
Right on. ED, weight loss, hair loss. Too late for me, Gary. We've already crossed that bridge.
Well, apparently not. With
no amount of Rogaine will regrow. It's all coming here. It's all going there. It's just that's weird.
With Ro.com special code Hooligan123 Qooligan, you can get anyway.
Not
a joke.
Not a real offer.
Not a real offer. Yes. Anyway,
let's get to the soccer.
Let's get into it. Okay, so we have got some spicy lineups as well. I have to say, I don't know if it's just us because we're more invested in it now because we're podding about it more aggressively, but it does feel like there's just more interesting and spicy narratives and storylines really early in the season into match week 5 as well. We've already had one managerial sacking. We were just discussing there's 2 other potential games that could potentially be managerial sackings, and that's not including Ruben Amorim as well. So we're going to be touching on that. And then, of course, we've got a couple of Merseyside derbies, and Arsenal could drop more points against Manchester City. So we'll be covering that as well.
There's only one Merseyside derby, Gary.
There is only one Merseyside derby. Let's start there. The Mr. Are we determining, is it Arnie ball? Is it Arnie time? What are we going to coin this sort of like Liverpool just snatching winners and snatching sort of like points in the dying seconds of games? I mean, it seems to be, what is it? You called it out, isn't it? Like 4 of the last 5 games they've scored and taken the points in the dying minutes of each game. Is that right?
Yes. Liverpool's played 5 games since the commencement of League and Champions League. They have scored extra time goals in 4 of those. And 3 of them were winners. So yeah, that's special. Arna time, Arna ball, hitting the slot. I don't know, man. It's like I don't think it doesn't quite have the ring of say Ange ball, Arna ball. It doesn't work.
Slots, yeah, in the slots,
and
something like that. Yeah,
slot ball just doesn't. No,
doesn't
that's
work.
not. That doesn't work.
No,
Let's just call it. I mean, let's just call it what it is. It's clutch. It's clutch play. All right. There's no matter how you slice it. Liverpool haven't looked great, and I don't think any objective person who has been watching them would say, "Wow, this is a dominating team." Not on the slightest. To the uneducated, they'll be like, "This is a team that got lucky." That's not it either. It is a team that has a steeliness and a resolve, and knows and has players that know how to make and create moments of brilliance. And that is just the way it goes, whether it's in the first 6 minutes of a game with Mohamed Salah taking it under his wing, and he could have had the winner in the Champions League one and just inexplicably put it off the post, to Van Dijk going up for the towering header, to an unknown and unheralded 16-year-old who moved to Liverpool months before, but gets put on the field and hits one in the 10th minute of stoppage time. Thank you, Rio.
Yeah.
No. And will this happen Saturday when they host Everton in Anfield? I think you've got to say yes.
You can see it already. I can just see it. I can see it. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I can see it. I can really see that. The only outstanding question I would have about this game is Isak. Now, Liverpool have had 2 games, and he has not started yet. The first game, he wasn't even in the squad for that Champions League game as well. I think he made a bit of an appearance as well. I don't think he had too much of an impact against Atletico yesterday. But my own question is, does he start? When does he start? Because I mean, Liverpool, they've broken the British transfer record for him as well. They paid big money. I'm sure he's ready and itching to go for it as well. So maybe is this the game where he actually makes his debut and starts, and does he have an impact, or does Arnie play into this?
Absolutely not.
Do you think here's a crazy prediction, and Qooligan, you called it again. You had that wonderful prediction yesterday, which you messaged me, and I think you even called it out in your article, which is hot take: Liverpool going to score an injury time winner, and they did, and Van Dijk did. I have a feeling there's going to be like an Isak last minute sort of screamer, the sort of bang in, sort of a really electric Anfield at this Merseyside Derby. That's my.
And by the way, you are wrong. He started against Madrid.
But he started, but then he came off it. But he didn't spend too long on the field, though, did he? He didn't last too long. Is that right?
But he did start, right? So I think that boom, already they've gotten back like at least 1 million of that, whatever that is.
Yeah, that 120 something million quid as well.
Start, yes, and he was subbed out.
But he wasn't on for too long.
So he didn't quite. Yeah, they put Ekitike in the 58th minute. But I wouldn't be surprised by this, right? Being able to rotate in 9s like that is such a luxury. When you have almost, in theory, you have no appreciable loss of fidelity whether you put Isak or Ekitike in. Please.
Yeah, it is a very, very heavy front line. The one thing I will say, and I agree, I don't think this Liverpool steeliness, the not giving up, going to the end as well, but the belief, it's all of those sort of things coming together, and they will continue to do that. The only concern is these are not sort of like 1-0s. Again, they were 2-0 up against Atletico, and then they conceded 2, and then they had to do it late. This has been a theme. This leaky defense is if you're poking holes anywhere and just saying there's a little bit of a sort of concern here, would just be the leakiness that they are conceding goals. They're scoring a lot, but they are also conceding, and that this will be again, that would be my only sort of question mark over Liverpool. Otherwise, if they got another Van Dijk-esque player in there and just shored up their defense, I mean, they are the team to beat. They are looking so good at the moment.
I'll say it again. If they had Guehi, they would be stronger. They don't. That is to Palace's benefit, but no. And you're right. Their defense is leaky, but with an offense like that, who needs defense?
Well, it's the philosophy. The old saying is, "You score 2, we'll score 3. Not a problem as well. Let's go for it. Let's go toe to toe." And it is very, very.
At the end of the day, it's whoever puts more in. So
yeah. Do you think Everton stand a chance here, and they could come away from something, even maybe snatch a point? Yeah.
In past years, I would have laughed Everton out of the building. I was Everton's biggest detractor for at least the last 2 seasons in my own mind. I thought they should have been relegated 2-3 seasons ago. They escaped through the skin of their teeth, but they are better under Moyes.
Yeah.
Okay, they are better under him. He has made changes. They have made changes. This is not the same Everton from a year ago.
And Jack Grealish has leveled them up completely.
100%. And
yeah,
that is really to the benefit of the league. I hate to say it, but yeah, it's nice to see Everton firing on maybe not all cylinders, but at least firing on most cylinders and able to really make a game out of it and play some extraordinarily entertaining soccer. So
yeah, they're looking good.
I am thrilled. I am excited for this matchup. I will not be getting up at 4:30 in the morning to watch it. I will be watching it on tape delay.
You'll get it on the delay. I'll watch the highlights of it as well. But I'd say, okay, so yeah, this is. I think this is going to be an absolute banger. This is going to be a really electric game, and it's going to be really fun. I will. It's 6:30 my time in Texas, so I'll be able to, depending on what time I wake up, I'll definitely get the second half for sure, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so moving through, I think the next game we wanted to cover was your beloved Palace against a very, very shaky-looking West Ham, and the reason we decided to cover this game a little bit because
I insisted when we were putting this agenda together on covering this, but not because of Palace, which as we all know is the best team in the Premier League, but because of just how fragile West Ham are. And Graham Potter is in a really precarious position. And this could be a match where he, walks off the pitch up to the boardroom, gets handed the slip, and is out the door even before midnight.
Yeah. This could happen. I think it'll also depend.
They're not good. They don't look good. They don't look
up for it. Yeah.
And and Palace, who haven't been like earth shattering, are at least they are a competent team, and I think that I actually think that they're gonna beat West Ham and force the board's hand.
Yeah, I think the other interesting thing, just looking at the league as well, West Ham United have conceded 11 goals so far this season, right? That is 11 goals. That is more than anyone. The only other team that have conceded nearly as many as Wolves, who have conceded 9. Okay, and so that is a real concern. And then the other interesting thing is Palace have only conceded 1 goal this season, which is incredible, along with Arsenal and Tottenham, right? So their defense looks solid. The Gahey factor
is there. Undefeated.
And they are one of 3 teams still undefeated in the league as well, which is there as well.
Teams. Right, my hot take: they're going to remain one of the undefeated teams in the league.
Yeah.
Now they're in the middle of the table, but that's because they're Crystal Palace. This is where we live. This is our home.
You're comfortable there as well. But you got off to a great start. Solid defense, not lost a game. Just grinding out the draws and taking the points here and there as well, and that will get you through it, and you'll be safe. Sure. And I don't think Palace are going to be any concern for going down, because that sometimes is at the beginning of the season is a bit of a question of like, if we get off to a bad start and we have to change a manager and some of our big players jump, and it seems to be very managed and contained very well. I think the defining factor.
The biggest concern for Palace is someone's going to come and take their manager.
Well, that's possible. Well, they did well to hold on to Gay, having lost Eze, who looks fantastic at Arsenal. Oh, God, he looks really good. Eze, it's a real mess. It's a real mess. But I will say it depends on the manner in which they lose. If Palace score 2, 3, 4, and it looks a really open game, I think that the West Ham leadership team have no choice but to make a change. But and Graham Potter, leaving Brighton was such a bad career decision, and sometimes the shiny trinkets and the big clubs and the big money, it's not always the right decision. It's not always the best, and I feel sorry for him because he's had an incredible story of what he's done and what he's achieved, but going to Chelsea was such a bad move for him, and then just trying to rebalance his career, it's not been the same. So maybe David Moyes can give him some advice as well, because Moyes was pretty set at Everton, pretty happy, and taking that Man United job many years ago was a similar experience. Okay, so you think Palace? Yeah, I think I would be surprised if West Ham come away with any points on this one, and depending on the manner, then that's possible there. Okay, just in the name's time moving through, we have also another manager who is dead man walking. Manchester United against Chelsea here. Just if I can just take the Chelsea side here as the Chelsea fan, I have not been convinced by Chelsea this season so far. If we just look at the last couple of games, they have got lucky. Bayern, opening 20 minutes looked okay. Cole Palmer has now scored 2 goals in 2 games, which is good to see him back from injury as well. I think João Pedro is off. They have not looked convincing. They got away with that draw. They kind of threw it away against Brentford last weekend as well. I'm still yet to, I know if you want to look on the positives, still undefeated, obviously sitting in a sort of a good position as well. Chelsea, for me, they need to sort of basically go and have a rip-roaring sort of rocking performance and go and sort of get a good 2-3 convincing win, because they just do look a little bit unsteady at the moment. Maybe they're still getting their fitness together. But yeah, that's kind of my Chelsea take. But Man United also as well.
Do you think that Chelsea can overcome the Old Trafford curse?
Yeah, well,
they have not won at Old Trafford since 2013.
Is that true? Well, this could be.
Yes,
they're going to have to. Yeah, they need it just to sort of kick on as well, because they really got smashed by Bayern. They really got outplayed by Bayern.
How bad have Manchester United been in the past few years, and still Chelsea cannot go there and pull it out?
Yeah, and still do it right.
It's refreshing to hear you being so candid and honest about your team. I'm still going to reiterate Crystal Palace is the best team in the Premier League. But I actually believe that this is the game where Chelsea break that Old Trafford curse. I do think that they're going to go in. I do think that they're going to listen. They were embarrassed by Bayern, and they were embarrassed by conceding so late to Brentford. They're going to be angry, and that's 2 teams that play in red. Now they're playing a third. They are not going to allow that a third time. There's too much pride in that dressing room for them to just go through and do that, because Cucurella's head might explode if they don't win. And nobody wants to see that. All right. No eraser head on the Old Trafford sideline, please.
Loving superstitious Qooligan as well. I like this. This is good.
I genuinely believe that. I think, like you say, Chelsea have, in a way, they've sort of been the anti-Liverpool, where Liverpool hasn't looked very good, but they're grinding out the wins. Chelsea hasn't looked very good, and they're grinding out the draws, right? Or the losses. And so, sure, I just think this is the one. I believe that Chelsea will come out of Trafford with 3 points.
Yeah, I always love it when ex-players go back to old teams, right? And so there is the Garnacho dynamic as well. Now, Garnacho has had 2 substitute appearances. Does he start?
I forgot about that one. Good call.
Does he start? And if he does he sort of cause some damage, and then does he celebrate as well? He strikes me as the kind of, type of player that would happily celebrate in front of the Stretford end and absolutely go nuts if he scores, and because he's not gone on a loan, he's gone on a transfer, so it's not like he has to come back as well. So there's going to be some shithousery. They're going to be giving him shit as well anyway. So I can kind of see that narrative and that storyline coming together. So does Garnacho start, and does he do some damage as well? But yeah, I think depending on the man,
he starts, but I think he comes on. I think he comes on as a substitute for 27 minutes of rollicking booze. And
then he just gets to run at them,
possibly a goal and a little bit of an FU. So why not?
A goal in the finger for the United fans as a United faithful. If this does turn out to be like a 3-0 sort of convincing display from Chelsea, what more do the United leadership team have to sort of wait and see for before they actually say we make a change and they punch Amarin's ticket?
I'm gonna tell you why they won't do that. One, they've already come out and publicly said they're going to give him X number of games. Okay, we all know that the Manchester, executive team are a group of people that cannot be taken at face value. That's fine. You can put that aside. 2, they don't have anybody lined up. And then while they're probably furiously and very quietly trying to arrange for a backup, with the news that Jose Mourinho is no longer on the market because he went to Benfica, I don't know where they go, and they're going to need the international break in order to shore that up. So I think he's probably got until then.
Got a
He's
month.
got he's got another 2 weeks, 3 weeks. The international break starts in early October. I think he's probably got until then. Or if it, like you say, it is so bad, then there's going to be some interim thing. I mean, hey, Van Nistelrooy's available.
I've got a hot take for you as well. I got a hot take. I saw something made me laugh out loud yesterday while I was scrolling through X, which was Zinedine Zidane is learning English just so we can tell Manchester United no in English. That made me chuckle. However, here is my hot take.
Brilliant.
And it would fit Nuno Espirito dos Santos. He's a bounce master. Look what he did at Forest and how he turned them around and got them there. Again, who else is available? Who would want to take that?
That's not your worst idea. That is not the worst thing I've heard come
I've had dumber ideas, right? There have been dumber things come out of this mouth, right?
But that's slow clap for Gary. I like that.
Because again, you look around, who else is around as well? Like, would they get, they wouldn't, Potter when he gets the can, would they get Potter? No.
The visa's still good. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I can see that happening all of a sudden as Man United manager. They've just signed him Bueno as well. Like, I know he did, because when he was at Wolves, I think that he managed him a little bit. So there's a bit of a relationship there. So anyway, we'll see how that one,
I like it.
How that one comes together. Okay. Speaking of managers on the chopping block as well, we are going to be covering now, just touching on Sunderland, Aston Villa. And again, this was another one you insisted on putting on the agenda. And I said, why? And then we looked at the table and it was like, holy shit. I mean, Unai Emery, he was touching up instead of punching and getting close to Champions League places, Champions League soccer football last season.
One measly point away from Champions League.
And they've just doubled. And speaking of one measly point, they're on 2 points.
They're on 2 points.
2 draws. Yeah, 2 points, second bottom in the league. And he's like, again, Emery, it's brutal, this business. It really is. Because on one season, you're sort of punching and sort of scratching into Champions League football and nearly getting there. And also, obviously, he did deliver it as well. And Villa did well last season to play in the Champions League and play quite well. They looked quite good at some points as well. And now all of a sudden, I wouldn't say, obviously it's too early to say relegation scrap, but I mean, that's for the aspirations, the ambitions they have.
Even worse than being in 19th place, they have not scored a goal.
Not scored a goal, hey. That is bad. That is very, very bad, hey?
That's bad.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that's just... Jesus, even Leeds have scored. Wolverhampton has 2 goals.
Even Burnley have scored 4 goals. Yeah, interesting.
You expect. Yeah, it's just no. That is not good. You cannot. You just can't expect to keep your job if your team goes that long. That's a whole month right now. It's a
without scoring a goal.
Without scoring a goal and not getting any wins from a team that was so close to playing at the highest levels. Think about how abysmal it would be if they were suddenly starting Champions League this week too. In addition to this, ouch.
Yeah.
Could have been the best thing to never happen to them.
Yeah, it's.
I don't have any thoughts on the game except this.
Sunderland is doing well.
Sunderland is not a pushover team. They have 2 wins and a draw.
Yeah.
And that is not a joke. That is not an accident. They are and they haven't been playing the toughest competition, but it doesn't matter.
They've been scoring and winning. That's
if you can get points in these first 5, 6, 7 games, it just sets you up. It gives you a cushion.
Just a springboard, isn't it, to bounce into?
And for where the entire metric of Sunderland's season is based on survivability, this is an outstanding start. It's an outstanding start.
And of course, and look, to be honest, I mean, we're only 4 games into the season, admittedly, so it's still quite early days. But yeah, they've got off to a good start. They've got their points in early. So there's not that negativity and that creeping around the stadium and around the border of like, oh, will we make it? Whereas if you're Leeds and Burnley, who have also just come up, you're both sitting on 3 points. And obviously after 4 games, you've only got 3 points and you've lost 3 games. You've got 1 win, but you've lost 3 times. So again, it's like, oh, it's a little bit nervy.
There's more nerves there. Sunderland's not feeling that. They're on the
Yeah.
upswing, man. They're riding high. And if they can defeat Villa, hello.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's gonna be, that's the game
Yeah.
that has the biggest potential for shockwaves.
Yeah, it's so if they, and again, I think it all comes down to, I know we keep repeating myself here, but it's the manner in which they lose. If it's a tight sort of, 1-1 and then there's a last minute sort of 2-1, and then you can say, look, we fought a good fight and we're still in it and it's okay. But if Sunderland turn up and they run through them and it's a 2-3-0, again, you've got three potential managers. And again, look, to be honest, like, if these managers do get fired on the surface, it's okay. They're going to get nice little golden handshakes. They're going to get a couple of million in their back pocket. Thank you very much. On your way you go. And with this manager merry-go-round as well, like, Manchester United are going to be looking at this and say, like, again, I could also see Unai Emery managing Manchester United as well. That is very, very plausible if Villa do decide to kick him to the curb.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's what everybody's waiting on. They're waiting to see who's available, right?
Yeah, that's it.
And
yeah.
if I was United, I would definitely they're not going to get any worse. So,
well, it could get worse.
No. But I mean, but at the same point, it's like, well, let's wait and see if anybody else trips up, and maybe we can pick somebody else. Like, we can pick up Nuno or Emery, both of whom would be, I think they would certainly be better than Amorim.
Well, that's it. And again, just going back to the Man United Chelsea thing, will Amorim break and change his 4-3-3 system? Will he do that and surprise Chelsea? And he seems to stick into it.
He's going to die
on that hill. He's going to die on that hill. And so if you're Enzo Maresca, and sorry to go back to it as well, just thinking out loud, is what's coming for you. You can prepare for it, right? So I know they've been preparing all week and looking at Chelsea. Chelsea have that dynamism where they can change their system and they rotate their players around. United, you know what you're going to get, right? So, you're going to get sort of an old Casemiro in the middle. And then Fernandez, if he's up for it, then he'll be dangerous. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Okay, and then final game of the season. This is the big one on Sunday.
The season of the week, but that's okay. Yeah.
Sorry, forgive me. Forget words. Words are eluding me today as well.
Words are hard. Words are hard.
It is. Words are difficult. Communication is challenging. Arsenal City. This has got the potential to be an exciting one, and I'm excited for this.
I think this is going to be a great game. I don't think it's an impactful game in the sense that it will have the ramifications of some of these other games that we've discussed previously, but I do think it's going to be a very good game. These are two teams. Arsenal is definitely, at this time and place, Arsenal is the stronger side. But Arsenal's strength always comes with it a certain fragility, right? Even when Arsenal is firing on all cylinders, you always think they're just one event away from breaking. You know what I'm saying? It's like, whereas when City was in its prime, you could hit it with a lead pipe and it wouldn't have made a difference. You could sweep the leg, Johnny. You could knock them down. They'd go into crane formation and, they would Karate Kid the shit out of you. That's not what Arsenal does. They don't have that.
It's that mental fragility almost, in a way, right? Yeah, a few bad runs and a few injuries as well. Obviously, look, they got a good result in the Champions League. The difference being is Man City played today against Napoli. And so Arsenal technically have had 2 days of rest, which you can say is a little bit sort of an advantage for them. I think do
that's
wonder.
A definite advantage.
Absolutely. And then they're playing at home as well. However, I mean, Erling Haaland looks as though he's back in the form of his life. He looked fantastic against Manchester United. I'm not saying about Manchester City completely, but he himself, and if he's on his day, he will cause problems and he will score goals. The only other thing as well is just remember is just as my earphones have gone off, so I'm going to go blank for that one if that's okay.
Do it.
Traditionally, if you want to win a league, you need to win. You can only really lose 4 games in a season. 4 games. Since you've already lost 2, Arsenal have lost 1. Now, I suspect this will probably be a score draw game. I think this is a 1-1 or got 2-2 written all over it, to be perfectly honest, and they'll both walk away and take the point and say, we didn't lose, that's okay. But if Man City lose and Arsenal win, which I don't know if it's possible, it is possible, that then City have lost 3 games already this season already. And again, I'm not saying it's a crisis over at Manchester City, but that really does hurt them in terms of actually sort of going and winning the league again this season.
I don't think City's I think
I think City's really playing for the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
They'll want to win the Premier League too.
But like you said, if they lose to Arsenal, that ship's probably sailed.
Yeah. And again, also it depends what happens with Liverpool, of course. Well, that result at Everton, again, our suspicion is they'll get a last-minute win. But if they win and then there's a draw, that's all of a sudden 5 games in, there's clear daylight between Liverpool and then the rest of the pack. And already, again, they're just showing their dominance and how good they're going to be. So it will be interesting to see how it is. Wonderful. Okay, well, in that case, score draw, I think, for City, Arsenal. The other interesting thing I've just noticed about Arsenal is Gyökeres is not as dangerous as everyone hyped him up to be when he was at Sporting Lisbon last season. He's scored some goals, he's there, but he doesn't strike me as he's not the Erling Haaland level. He's not the Isak level. He is not. He's a striker, and they needed a striker. But I wonder if he is like the potent number 9 that Arsenal really need to get them over the line.
I just don't think he's comfortable yet.
Mm-hmm.
Give him time.
Yeah.
You're right.
He has not had the impact of, say, an Ekitike.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think he will grow into that role. And as the weeks go on, you'll see him having a much bigger role.
Yeah. They'll have to. So yeah. Okay. In that case, Qooligan, well, I think we've covered the main games and the things that are captivating our attention and our mind share. This brings us up on time as well. We've got to go and see Club Brugge. We're going to go and play, and they're about to kick off against Monaco, which will be a good game for that.
It's true. And
one more stat.
Gyökeres
already has 3 goals.
Yeah, as I say, but he still has yet to convince me like he's dominant. I know, but they've been tap-ins. One of those was they've been sort of tap-ins, and maybe that's what they needed. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just a little bit jealous that Chelsea just don't have that number 9 that we've been craving for so long. It could be that as well.
More goals than Salah.
That's true. Salah has seemed to have kind of again. He's not the bright shining jewel in the crown, and we know this as well. He'll get into it.
He'll find his own.
African Cup of Nations this season as well, so he could walk away with a handful of trophies this season for sure. Cool. Anyway, Qooligan, well, thank you very much. We're going to go and watch some Champions League, and then we'll be back again this afternoon for a second episode for a Champions League wrap up as well. So we will. And in the meantime, I will go and charge my headphones and have those ready to go for the afternoon session. Wonderful, Qooligan. Thank you as always.
Wonderful.
Peace.